Hello, welcome back. This is Kench1913 and we are Let's Playing Soul Reaver 2. In the last episode we began looking at stuff, and this is actually the Dark Chronicle. If you go into your start menu, and you can actually read the scenes if you want to of the game, like the long cutscenes. And this is a story-based game, so there are going to be some cutscenes, and that's cool because I like the voice acting. But yeah, as you can see, the Reaver is here. You hold circle, you can suck souls, just like the other game. They're a little different looking. And you hit select and you go back into this world here.
Away from the influence of Moebius's cursed staff, I could feel the strength of the Soul Reaver slowly returning. If that orb was as debilitating to vampires as it was to the blade, it gave Moebius a powerful advantage over his enemies. I finally understood how Moebius's crusade could decimate the vampires so successfully. If he could immobilize his enemies, they were at his mercy. But why, I wondered, would the staff have any effect on the Reaver? Ha! As I neared the stronghold's inner sanctum, a strange sensation crept over me. An indescribable feeling of displacement, a sense of vertigo, as reality itself appeared to warp and bend around me. The disturbance seemed to emanate from the sanctuary's furthest chapel. As I cautiously approached, the sense of dislocation intensified with each step. So this was the tomb of the beloved King William the Just, beatified here as the martyr and catalyst of Moebius's crusade. I was reminded of Kain's journey as a fledgling vampire, how Moebius coerced him to travel back in history and assassinate William, thus igniting a genocidal hatred of vampires among the citizens of Nosgoth. And here I discovered the source of the displacement. The Soul Reaver itself, laid out like a holy relic, and broken, apparently in the battle between William and Kain. I had not thought such a thing was possible, until, of course, Kain shattered the blade against me when he tried to strike me down. Thus, the captive spirit inhabiting the Reaver was released, and binding itself to me became my symbiotic weapon. And so the Reaver met its former self, still imprisoned in this corporeal shell. I watched, mesmerized, as the Wraith blade uncoiled itself and snaked down the length of the physical blade. Embracing its twin, its mirror self, the Reaver's long-dormant spirit was now fully aroused. And for the first time, I felt the true presence of this other entity, willful, ravenous, and deranged from thousands of years of imprisonment. The Reaver was now in command, and I, now merely its helpless host, felt my soul being leached to restore the blade. But the Reaver knew better than to destroy its host, and just as I neared the brink of oblivion, the blade released its hold on me. As I recovered, I realized we were now bound together in a fragile alliance. The Reaver no longer merely my symbiotic weapon, but a sentient parasite competing for control.
What have you done to me, Moebius? Is this your trap?
How mine? Don't forget it was Kain who led you here, not I. While you curse me, the only soul in Nosgoth ready to guide and assist you, Kain laughs at our folly and revels in your dismay.
These blades, now coiled in sinister embrace, have inspired terror in the hearts of creatures far more durable than you, old man. Bound together as they are, I can only imagine what they could do to your soul's fragile shell.
Raziel, I beg you to stay your hand. This was none of my doing. I have sought only to aid you in your righteous quest.
Why, you're trembling, Moebius. Has your confidence abandoned you? You seem to have made a fatal error by leaving your precious staff behind. Is that where all your courage comes from?
Listen to me, Raziel. You don't know what you're doing. I have taken an enormous risk by appearing here before you, so defenseless, yet eager to prove my good intentions. If there's anything left of the Sarafan in you, you won't do this. While you threaten me, your true enemy eludes you.
Don't concern yourself with Kain, old man. He'll join you in hell soon enough. As you said, death comes for us all.
Yes, the wheel of fate demands it.
What did you say?
The wheel of fate. The inexorable cycle of death and rebirth to which all men are compelled. We serve the same God, Raziel. To strike me down would be striking God's own attendant. And I don't believe even you would take that risk.
I tire of your games, Moebius. Now that I know you fear me, I needn't concern myself with you. Kain is waiting for me.
Go then, Raziel. Seek Kain out and destroy him in the name of the one God we both serve. You, who were once a Sarafan priest, murdered, profaned, destroyed, and reborn again from his mercy, you are now most powerfully equipped to be his agent, his instrument of restoration and retribution.
My own vengeance is motivation enough.
By my soul, you almost had me, my little blue assassin. But that'll be the one and only chance you get. I assure you of that.
I could now summon the blade at will, regardless of my strength. But once summoned, the blade's ravenous appetite could not be contained. It devoured the souls of its victims, and if I allowed it to become over-aroused, the Reaver would now turn its hunger on me.
Okay, so that scene right there is pretty interesting. Basically, that was Kain. He killed William the Just, and they set the Soul Reaver there. But now we can actually, if we hit select and then go to that, we can actually summon the Soul Reaver at will. But there's something a little different about it, and I'll show it off a little later about how the Soul Reaver works in this game. But
So this was the legendary Janos Audron, reputed to have been the most ancient and diabolical vampire to have ever existed. According to folklore, he lived high in the cliffs of Nosgoth's northern mountains and preyed mercilessly on the defenseless villagers below. His reign of terror ended when the Sarafan finally hunted him down and tore his throbbing heart from his still living body. This relic came to be known as the Heart of Darkness, and was supposedly imbued with the power to restore vampiric unlife. The Sarafan therefore guarded it carefully, lest the heart fall into the hands of their enemies. But I wondered, could Janos Audron truly have been as monstrous as depicted here? Or was this merely artistic license by the Sarafan, who sought to lionize themselves by demonizing their darkest enemy?
Yep, and that is Janos Audron, the greatest vampire to have ever lived. And he had the Heart of Darkness. Anyways, the Soul Reaver works a little differently in this game. Basically, it sucks souls, and if you kill an enemy with the Soul Reaver, you'll actually, yeah, you can shoot projectiles with it, but you can't kill enemies with projectiles. And as you can see, that circle going around Raziel. That's actually the Soul Reaver. It takes the souls. I'll explain more after the cutscene.
Strange how my history came full circle. This chapel, I realized, was a memorial to my former Sarafan brethren and myself. All of us martyred here, and then so cruelly profaned by Kain when he imposed his gift on our noble corpses. For the first time, I beheld the image of my Sarafan self, memorialized here among my fallen comrades. It tortured me to see how noble and pure I had been, and what a vile phantasm I had become. And a profound sense of injury, of loss and betrayal welled up in me, so overwhelming I could barely contain it. All I wanted at this moment was to find Kain and destroy him.
Oh, look at that. We got our some more dudes. So anyways, the Soul Reaver in this game, it sucks souls and it doesn't give it to Raziel. But as you can see, come on, there we go. It'll actually get stronger as you take more souls, but if it goes red and goes full circle, it'll start draining your energy, which is crazy. Anyways, this is Zephon here, and this is the Sarafan Sanctuary in which they will be, where the Sarafan are dead. There's Terrell, which we haven't met yet. These are all Raziel's brothers. And the reason why I'm not going to talk through the cutscenes mainly is because there's no, there's no subtitles, so, you know, I don't want to talk over something and you can't read it. And here is Duma right there. And these are all the Sarafan priests who were turned into vampires by Kain. So like I was saying, you know, Moebius, the time streamer, had Kain go back in time and kill William the Just, who was going to be the nemesis, basically. They were like this bad group of people. And so he had Kain go destroy him. And basically, that turned the people's hate against vampires into like this genocidal kind of thing. So, yeah. But at the basically what ended up happening is, so right now we're in the era of Kain, of genocidal vampire stuff.
I emerged, and for the first time beheld Nosgoth in its former glory. The land overflowed with abundant life and vitality. And I knew with certainty then that the world I had left behind was nothing more than the corpse of Nosgoth, a lifeless husk bled dry by the corruption of Kain's parasitic empire. This was the fragile world Kain sacrificed to preserve his own petty life and ambition, heedless of the profound cost. The sight only deepened my resolve. I sensed that the pillars lay to the northwest. If Kain truly waited to confront me there, I would not disappoint him.
So, yeah, now we're outside Nosgoth, and like I said, this takes place 30 years before Blood Omen. And 470 years, or basically 500 years after, you know, Vlorador killed all the members of most of the members of the Circle. Now, Moebius was talking about...
As I passed this arcane landmark, a wisp of the Reaver's energy was drawn to the ring, illuminating it. This created a beacon of sorts in the spirit world. If ever I found myself depleted in the spectral realm, and my soul tossed on the ethereal winds, these beacons would draw me back to safety and restore me.
So basically these beacons are checkpoints of the game. And if somehow Raziel dies, they will send him, even in the spectral realm, they'll send him back over here. So anyways, Moebius was talking about the three pillar guardians that were killed, or that survived, and they were Mortanius, the necromancer, Malik, the pillar of conflict, the Sarafan paladin, and then himself, obviously. But everyone else was slaughtered, and then they had new Guardians. Anyways, you can swim in this game by using X, obviously. And if you hit L2, you'll actually swim a little faster. But remember, there's a door over there. We're just gonna go through underneath. Yeah, so if anyone's got any questions about the plot at any point in the game, obviously try not to spoil anything. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. So we're looking to go somewhere. And yeah, sadly in this game, the Soul Reaver is not very as good as it was in the first game because it doesn't take souls. But this is a nice little added effect they added. But that's alright. Oh yeah, if you hold R2 or L2 in your crouch position and then jump, you'll do a high jump, just like in the last game. But you have to hold R2 in order to look around. Go into first person mode, basically. Like this. But anyways, yeah, Raziel, no, what was I gonna say? Yeah, the energy goes down slowly, but it goes down again. And basically,